Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, your statistics and sports podcast. I am one of your hosts, Joshua Tracy,
And I am Corwin Heller.
who was temporarily just like zoned out, man. You were gone for a minute. Uh, anyway,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was funny. Uh, we're chatting with Emily Nyman of the Breaking Balls podcast. She'll be our guest today as we talk about, or as we have a draft of rule changes for MLB. Um, Most of them goofy, some of them practical, and we see whose version of baseball we ended up liking the best at the end of it.
Let me stop you there. They are all practical. Realistic, I don't know, but they can be done.
Yeah, mine were not, but anyway. uh, Today's hat is an internet hat. Boom, pitching ninja. We've been having people I really like from Twitter on the show recently, and I figured I'd showcase my Twitter hat. Um, I'm waiting for somebody to ask me about it one day. Someone on the street is
One
going to
day.
be like, "Is that pitching ninja?" And I'll be like, "Oh, he knows, or she."
He might be like the cream of the what's the term I'm looking for?
Cream of the crop sounded like
The
it was right.
yeah, but like he would be like the ultimate guest on this show. Like he would be the one.
He is Jewish. That's
I feel like
true.
I feel like there's a better idiom for that, but my brain.
Well, I mean, he is wheat, we are chaff. So I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it's practical, but anyway,
Man, that's a very pre-industrial agriculture joke.
yeah, buddy. Um, let's go out there and reap what we sow. Uh,
Oh
so,
God. What, you
uh,
want your cake and to eat it too?
thank you. Um,
Food.
yeah, I know. Here, fucking goddamn it, this is supposed to be so much shorter. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. He, here is
Josh,
our
this is the beginning episode. They got another like fucking hour of dealing with this
stop it.
bullshit.
Fucking stop it. Here now is our conversation with Emily Nyman. All right, we're joined today. This is our first weekday guest ever. We're so used to doing this shit on Sundays, but we got Emily Nyman, host of the Breaking Balls podcast, joining us today. Em, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
All
Hear that?
right. You're joining us today. Spring training in full effect, and once again this season, as it is the season between the COVID shortened season and the next CBA, we are once again having fun with what the fuck are the rules of baseball this year, which has been a topic of conversation for the past couple seasons as MLB has tried some stuff out at the minor leagues and then introduced a few concepts in the majors last year due to, as they claimed, shortened season, and we wanted to make sure things moved along a little bit quicker. So we had shorter double headers. We had runners starting on second and extra innings. We had a bunch of shit nobody liked. We had some stuff people did like. The universal DH was a thing. And now I guess pretty much all of it's gone. But conversation is renewed again because next year we get to negotiate all this shit again. So we thought we'd have a little bit of fun with it and try to draft some of our favorite rule changes and see whose version of the MLB was the most fun. So, Emily, Corwin, you guys ready to go?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, why not?
That was a firm
No
shoulder
hard
shrug
commit.
from the co-host of this podcast, acting as though this was his first time here, 200 episodes in. All right.
I am here twice a week purely out of indifference.
Yeah, it really is that. I am just the blank hole in your schedule. Yeah, I think that title
Absolutely.
sums it
Couldn't
up.
have said it
Yeah.
better myself.
All right, so I put our names into a random order generator, and our order will be as follows. Emily, you go first. Corwin, you're second, and I got shafted in third. So I guess without further ado, Em, give us your first uh, rule change draft pick.
Universal DH. I don't ever want to see a pitcher hit again for the rest of my life.
I
Yeah.
thought I was safe with all these AL fans over here. Nope, I thought I'd snag it.
No, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing windbreakers on the field. They get the jacket after the at bat on the base path. Like, I don't want any of that anymore.
No, and I feel like the only reason everyone likes it is because of the very rare instances in which pitchers actually hit something, because it becomes like a goal in hockey where like getting a basket in basketball is not uncommon. They are going to make a very significant number of them every game. Getting a goal in hockey, super rare, right? You get maybe 3 or 4 in a game for your side. That's like a pitcher hitting, but except the you need it to happen significantly more frequently for it to be effective. So the rare instance in which it happens has such a big emotional payoff, which if that's the only reason we're doing it, I would rather have a pitcher hitting contest during the All-Star break.
Worst
if that-
contest of all time.
Pitcher hitting contest. Sorry, are we just like beaning all of the pitchers now? All the pitchers with issues with all of the guys who've been striking them out all season just get to come up and just throw their 65-mile-an-hour fastball at them.
Position player pitching versus pitchers hitting. Is that where we're at? No,
The
but for
only-
real, that'd be
Honestly, if we
super
had that
fun.
as like the All-Star game for like the guys who don't quite make the All-Star game, I'd be all for it.
The only fans that like pitchers hitting, I'm convinced NL, are fans from shitty teams, because then they don't really have anything to care about. So they're like, oh, this is a novelty that is exciting and something that I could look forward to and could potentially happen any day. But then as soon as their team gets good, suddenly they're like, oh, wait, I don't want this fucking guy pitching. I mean, I don't want this guy hitting anymore. Please put in a real hitter.
My only defense, Zach Greinke is 1 home run and 1 stolen base away from a 2020 career, and I do not want to die without seeing that feat.
And that's the other thing, it's like Noah Syndergaard can rake, and remember that one time Bartolo Colon hit a home run? That sure was fun. And it's like, yeah, but like when you see how much better your roster gets just from taking away that fucking waste of space called the pitcher hitting slot, oh my God.
Like I'm going to misquote the exact number here, but like we always talk about like, oh, Mac, or what's it? Not Max Scherzer. He's a good hitter, but Madison Bumgarner, he's like, oh, he's such a great hitter for a pitcher. He has a career batting average of like 150, 167. It's not like it's good in any capacity. It's like half of what your good, contact hitter should be getting.
And even the contact hitters, it's like, this is a game of failure. They're not succeeding like most of the time. So if you're going to have that, who needs that? Nobody.
All right. Let's keep it moving, because I'm sure this is this is a very real one. This is very likely to happen. So then there is worlds to say about it. Corwin, you're up. Round 1 pick. What do you got?
That was actually the only one I came up with heading into it. So I got
Well,
nothing. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to hop off. But no, I feel like I should get, the actual realistic rules out of the way. So I'm going to take a step off the baseball diamond for a minute and say mandatory minimum pay for minor league players. Let's get them up. Let's keep them out of poverty as professional baseball players. Let's get them some benefits. Let's get them some livable wages. That, I think, is a rule that will really change baseball.
That's a good one.
All right. Yeah, we've been talking about this a lot the past couple weeks, especially. I mean, it is the surest sign of cheapness from ownership that paying guys, I don't know, $45,000 a year instead of the $16,000 a year they currently make, is like the breaking point. But I guess it's an effective way for them to pinch pennies and remind us that we are all the poors, and they are not.
Pretty much.
All right.
Remember that scene from Les Mis when they talk about us being the poors?
Yeah. Or most days in the news, or when I go to the bank, or just actively throughout the day. Yeah.
I walk into Yankee Stadium poor. I walk out of Yankee Stadium very much poor.
Yeah, Remember that time I got you like a pass for like a free beer, and they came back and handed you a fucking like Dixie cup of beer.
I had like 3 tickets I collected from like all of the people we went with, and it was like one 12-ounce, can of beer all in total.
I mean, I didn't even know they had free drink tickets at Yankee Stadium. Where did you find this?
I mugged the ownership group. Just straight up mugged them.
I think I got them for like a weird specialty game
MasterCard thing? Like, wasn't it with
maybe
MasterCard
it might have been
deal?
like a MasterCard deal thing if you like bought your tickets with the right fucking credit card.
They're like, spend $5,000 and get 5 ounces of beer.
Josh, that was the day we saw Marlins, man.
That was, and I believe it was the same day we saw Mike Ford hit a walk-off home run against the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
That was a good day. That was a fun day in the city.
Good day. All right. So minimum league salary, minimum minor league salary for each player. All right. I am going to go back.
Yeah, universal DH, people living on livable wages. Yeah, same ballpark,
It's a sport. That's what sports are like. You watch pitchers hit and then you make people broke. All right. I will go. Oh, damn it. I'm between 2. This is why I'm terrible in fantasy football. I make all my drafts in like the last fucking second.
He's not lying. It's really, really funny.
Oh, it's just me arguing. No one even has to ever say anything. It is just me arguing with myself.
Yeah, no, Josh is pretty much locked in to draft like Barry Bonds just every year. Shit, he retired? Oh no, fuck.
All right, I'll go also salary related or money related. I'll go salary floor across MLB. Quantity I'll ignore, but I'll say that there has to be some minimum level of spending that is, above what the bottom 5 teams are currently doing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also it's the only alternative to a salary cap, which unless you're going to have a revenue cap, I think is totally unethical to say that the players can only make a certain amount, but these owners can just continue to make billions over the years. And the salaries will just stay at this one plateaued or percentage rate, or however they do it.
I'd love to see this just to see Bob Nutting just lose his goddamn mind over having to spend money. Oh.
Well, and then the other part of it is it's like if you're going to have revenue sharing as a result of other teams going over this salary tax threshold for some period of time, shouldn't that money by default go towards your payroll?
I thought it did. I thought that's why the Pirates were in that lawsuit a few years ago, because he wasn't spending it on payroll.
So we just, in our last episode, we looked at how much money each team got in competitive balance dollars and compared it to their threshold. And like last year, on average, teams that received money from the competitive balance got like $118 million. Or 2019 to pre-COVID. And there's like 12 teams that didn't spend $100 million on payroll. And it's like, obviously not every single dollar is going to go towards payroll. There's other factors to be considered, but it's the competitive balance tax. Shouldn't this be adding to the competitive nature of your fucking team? Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Bob Nutting is just trying to make his wallet competitive with the other guys at his country club.
It's true, man. It's all about collecting commas. That's all it is, man. All right. Second round, back to you. What do you got?
Okay, so when a player hits a home run, each deck it adds a run for that player. So if they hit a home run just to the field level, it's just a regular home run. They only count as 1 run. If they hit it to the second deck, the batter counts as 2 runs. If they hit it to the third deck, the batter counts as 3 runs. So you could potentially hit a 6-run home run if there's bases loaded.
So what if it leaves the park completely?
Game over.
Covey Cove.
12 runs.
Really? Yeah. So if it hits into the water in Pittsburgh, San Francisco, game's over, golden snitch, give them the World Series. Okay, I'm in.
So do you think
that might make the Pirates a competitive team?
Oh, no, it wouldn't. Get out of here.
Yeah, I was like, I think the Pirates are safe.
You're right, it wouldn't.
Such a stretch. But do you think that would incent teams to create really small decks, like 2-row decks? Because
I
like,
think
think about the Angels. Like, they have so much outfield room because there's like, they have like those fucking rocks there and shit. Like, they could just like stack that shit with decks.
it just looks like the Senate in the prequels of Star Wars. There's just like all these little discs for like.
Because then Mike Trout becomes a player who can win you a game. He hits one 12-run home run, and then you're done.
To the 30th
Rotation's not an
deck.
issue.
You would just see like billion-dollar stadiums cropping up in every single city, just of these skyscrapers, and like the distance is like 250 feet, whatever the lowest number they can get to.
What happens if you hit the roof of the Trop?
Oh my God.
Does that count as a
Redo.
deck?
A mulligan.
Out.
Mulligan. Oh man, that would make a box score look wild.
This is just like Blurns ball now.
I think that's the natural progression for baseball.
Yeah, it is.
It seemed to be doing well in Futurama.
Stole
All
my
right.
joke. God damn it, Josh.
That's right. Get out of here, Corwin. What's your next pick, Corwin?
Oh man, there's so many to choose from. I'm ready to get really weird with it. I mean, normal rules are okay and all, but like, come on, they're not the same.
Round or second round before we got to the weird ones. All right, let's hear
Yeah,
it. Come on.
What, you want to hear me talk about like competitive balance tax for the next 20 minutes? No way. Okay. Angel Hernandez, right? He's in this lawsuit about, MLB's racist. They won't let me in the World Series.
Mhm.
Write in a rule specifically for Angel Hernandez. If he finishes top 5 in call accuracy in any season, he goes to the World Series. Just locked in. Just end this argument completely. Hey, if you're good enough to get to the World Series, you go to the World Series. We don't care if you're, Hispanic, minority. Any rule we got to limit how much I have to hear about Angel Hernandez, which, this rule may or may not have been inspired by him already blowing a call in spring training, but I'm here for it.
But then what happens if he does all this hard work, he gets to the World Series, then all of a sudden he's like, all right, I made it. Now let me just relax. And now he's back to shitty Angel Hernandez in the World Series.
What if he long cons you, Corwin?
Yeah.
Listen. These were not groupthink topic points. These were me sitting at work trying to think of stuff to go on in baseball, watching lowlights of Angel Hernandez and just getting angry.
Hey,
Sue
if I have
me,
to answer
right?
for the
You know
Trop
what?
roof in mine, you have to answer for this.
Touche. You know what? If he wins, if he drops below top 15 from then on, he has to ump the World Series without any protective gear. He's just back there, t-shirt, shorts. I'll give him socks, but he has to wear sandals, open-toed, and he's got to call the game, and he's got to do it well.
Every missed call is $1,000 fine.
Every missed call, he takes off a piece of clothing. Let's get weird with it.
We don't need that.
Yes, we do. This is
Imagine
how we
that was
get
a real rule, and Joe
This
West
is
had
how
to...
we get
Oh,
this
God.
55 and over female crowd to watch baseball. This is how we do it.
And now guest umping today's game, Brad Pitt. He's awful.
Actually, researching these questions, I found out that when baseball first started, umpires were just people in the stadium that they would just pick, just like wealthy, well-known people in the community. Hey, we like you. Come on, ump for us. We'll give you a nice chair. You'll just sit back there. You get first pick at all the concessions. Not making that up, and they would ump the games.
I mean,
Well,
that's
the
how
original
Little
idea
League
of the
still are
strike
to this
zone is that
day.
you would tell the pitcher where you wanted the ball thrown, and then if he didn't do it, you got mad at him, and that's why there's balls.
Mm-hmm.
So the batter would be like, all right, throw it here. And then if you didn't do it, the batter would be like, you fucking suck. Do that 8 more times, and then I'm going to first.
There was like a 3-year span where the batter got to pick whether he got a high pitch or a low pitch. And that's just how baseball works.
And that's why Angel Hernandez is the way he is. All right. So I'm going to make my next pick then. I'm going to piggyback it off of yours, which it feels like I just did with my last pick, but whatever. I'm doing it again. If both managers agree, then umps can be either changed or ejected from the game for missing balls and strikes. But both managers have to agree.
So any single game Angel Hernandez or CB Buckner is just officiating, it's just he shows up on time and then leaves about 6 minutes later.
Yeah.
The amount of collusion that would go on would be insane between managers, I feel like. Like, dude, let's get this out of here. Or it's paying umpires under the table to like throw games. Like, I don't know. I feel like it would be like Black Sox situation all over again for some reason.
Well, hey, anything to get our boys back in the media. That scandal was 100 fucking years ago. We're still talking about it, huh? That's just great press.
Got a point.
Marketing geniuses, that Joe Jackson.
Hey, it's baseball. The consequences are way lighter than, like war.
True.
Yeah, the two deadliest things you can do with your life: go to war, play 9 innings of baseball.
I mean, if it was me, hey, look, man, if a breaking ball was coming anywhere near my head, I don't have the mental acuity to know if it's going to break or not. And I would either let myself get hit in the head or just start dodging every pitch that came in, whether it was remotely close to hitting me or not. So
yeah, I wouldn't need to get hit by a pitch. You throw a curveball at me and my heart gives out. I'm done.
My heart and my feelings. Yeah, both hurt.
I feel like I'd be too shocked for my feelings to kick in. Plus, I'm dead inside. So,
Fair.
Sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, it is.
No, Angel Hernandez gets kicked out 6 minutes in. I am killed in the batter's box 8 minutes later. Great game.
But who then takes the place? So let's say the managers get together. They say, get this guy out of here. Do like does the crew rotate and then like another manager gets like dispensed from like the bullpen or something, or a new umpire rather?
No, they just prop my dead body up behind first base and just let me call plays back there.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I had thought about this and I figured that rotating the umps would probably be the easiest way of doing it, but I also like the panache of an ump actually fully getting ejected from the game and saying, Joe, this is so bad you have to go sit down.
Or, hear me out, noise meter with the crowd. They get to pick who the next umpire is.
Full
and
American Idol style.
They just have like the mascot out in center field, just like, oh.
Like the fucking needle with in the New York Times at the election. Yep. Yeah. All right. Round 3. Em, you are up again. What do you got?
If a game is still tied going into the 11th inning, home run derby to determine the winner. I don't want to see a 22 inning game. I don't even want to see a 15 inning game. I don't want to see the left fielder pitch. I want to just see, let's have these teams slug it out.
Yeah, I think that the idea that MLB implemented last year of the runner starting on second in extras, I think it's the wrong application of like the right idea, because we have all baseball fans have tried to stay up for those 18 inning games where after inning 10, you're convinced it's going to end. It's going to end next inning and I'm going to miss it. And then before you know it, it is 4:00 in the morning and you absolutely hate yourself. And if they did something a little bit later, like 11th, 12th inning, I'm on board. And hey, the NHL already does the shootout. Home run derby ain't that wild of a concept.
And like, if I never understand people they hate, because I'm not crazy about the rule with the runner on second, but I don't hate it. If people are okay with a position player throwing like 55 mile per hour meatballs, why is this a problem? Like, they're like, that's not real baseball. They didn't earn it. It's like, does a professional hitter really earn it when they're facing Corey Seager or something like that on the mound? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's this idea of like, I know in my mind what baseball is, and I have decided that is not baseball. It's the same thing with people, like with the hockey comparison. Some people really, really hate the shootout. But it's like, look, man, there's like 82 games, and we can't be having double, triple, quadruple overtime every day with these 20-minute periods. It's going to be ridiculous. Like, I get it might not be hockey to you, but like, fuck, dude, they got to go home. Like,
yeah, and the games get sloppy. Even in baseball, it's like these guys are tired. They've been playing the sport now for hours. Like, this isn't really baseball either in comparison to what the product is in the first inning.
Like, as amusing as it is watching Chris Davis's most valuable outings be when he pitches now, it's still not good baseball.
You watch Chris Davis and the Orioles?
If he does something intriguing, I will.
Get a hit for the first time in
that's
80
really
games.
All it takes.
What if instead of doing a home run derby, we just switch to like softball? Everyone gets a new glove. We'll get new bats. We'll get new balls. We'll just play a brand new game. Just switch it up. After
Bring, like,
15,
Daddy
we
Yankee
switch to
in.
cricket. After that, stickball. Everyone's got to wear funny mustache and old clothes. After 20, we're
My grandfather
playing
tells me about
basketball.
stickball, and it's because he used to play in the Bronx when he was a kid, and it's like listening to all his old stories are just like old people rambling. We used to buy brooms and knock the heads off and use those as sticks, and it's like, okay, Grandpa, I'm sure you did.
Does that like old timey piano music play in the background, like?
Yeah, just yakety sax.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Corwin, next pick. You're up.
So, do you guys know off the top of your heads how many like baseballs you go through in a single game?
Isn't it like 120?
Like,
yeah, I was gonna say it's about there.
Okay, that number was so significantly higher than I thought it was. Holy shit! Save money, guys. Stop using so many. Football uses like
every foul
6.
ball and hit.
Fucking
You
Christ.
gotta change it out because it softens the ball.
And the pitchers will just be like,
Right,
"Oh, there's dirt
fair
on this
enough.
one. Give me another one," like
Yuck.
for no reason.
Ooh, gross.
Very draconian.
While the other pitcher's just like hawking loogies on it. I was gonna say one ball, but now we'll have X number of balls. We'll figure that out later. There's just a couple balls in that mix where look like a normal ball. They feel like a normal ball. It's a tennis ball. It's a lacrosse ball. If you hit it with good contact, it's going to go 600 feet. And the pitcher won't know. The umpire won't know. Nobody knows when it's coming. Just at some point, one of those balls is going to get out into rotation and it's going to get slammed and it's going to be great. On the flip side, we'll throw some balls in there too with some, raised stitching, give them, extra texture, really let those pitchers dig into it. And we're just going to see 4 feet of movement on that ball. I just like randomly 5 in a game, maybe 6 in a game, 1 or 2 if we really got to get to the World Series. I just want it to be like boring. Holy shit, that ball went out of the park.
Until the first lacrosse ball painted like a baseball just kills one of the players or someone in the stands being hit 800 miles an hour.
Listen, baseball's got to get a little bit more exciting. If we got to sacrifice,
So you
the
want the
Oscar
variance
Hernandez now and again.
They have like an acceptable window of like how dead or alive the ball can be, and you want it to go from like it can be like a little bit to be like outstretched arms. Like we fired the quality control people at who are making the baseballs.
Consistency is boring. We want people to watch. What's crazier than like an MMA match that the guy could die in the ring or, something crazy. You never know what's going to happen. Let's bring that to baseball.
All right.
Listen, Josh, I told you we're going to get weird with it. We're getting weird with it.
You're right. This is definitely weird with it. All right. For my next one, because I think it would be fun and very, very annoying for batters. Called strikes down the heart of the plate count for 2 strikes. So ball comes in, and it's just a straight fastball, middle, and you just look at it like a lunatic. That's 2 strikes now.
Okay. Explosive balls, that's crazy, but no, 2 strikes for a strike.
2 strikes is big, because you know what, man? You know what? I get that your thing might not be swinging, but boy, we're going to get you swinging because goddamn, if that isn't the most frustrating thing, it's like, now, if it's 105 mile an hour, Jordan Hicks came out here, he had some shit to talk and he was feeling that day. I understand that can be challenging. I have seen many batters take the middle fastball thrown like 93 and just sat there and wondering like, what you doing, buddy?
Well, if they're going to do that, because they're doing that because the pitch looks the same as every other pitch. So they're thinking it's going to be a breaking pitch. They don't realize that it's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball until it's already in the glove. So if you're going to do that, you have to either move the mound back or lower the mound. Because if the pitchers can throw breaking stuff like they can now and then get a 2-strike fastball, no, the batting average, that 150 Madison Bumgarner batting average would be MVP worthy in that league.
I actually think the MLB would approve this. They are so obsessed with pace of play. You throw Angel Hernandez back there, the game's over in 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
I didn't even think about the subjectivity of the strike zone. That would be Judge gets a 2-strike fastball called at his ankles.
You got to combine these two then. You got to combine my second round pick and my third round pick. That way the managers can control their guys. I'm telling you.
All right, well, I actually thought of another rule that I'm all for.
All right, well, you get your turn. All right, moving into the fourth round.
That works.
M, what do you got?
I would like to ban sack bunting. I think those kind of go hand in hand with the universal DH. So I think those two tie together because once you get rid of pitchers hitting, then no one's really going to drop a sack bunt. But I would just like to see that removed from the game. Swing the bat.
But then what's A-Rod going to talk about?
Oh my God. Guy literally never was asked to bunt in his entire career. And he's like, these guys need to bunt more. It's like, just please stop talking.
I think analysts are put in a relatively tough position from how they approach the game because unfortunately baseball, what are you supposed to do when you're a hitter? Oh, well, go up there and hit it really hard. And I feel like a lot of the color commentators we have now are more so like Phil Simms than they are Tony Romo. We're like, I'm going to go up there and say the most obvious part of the game possible because for some reason it's the only thing that comes to my mind instead of going up there and saying, well, he just got thrown, a 3-1 fastball out of the zone, which means that the pitcher's trying to get in the zone, trying to get him to swing at something, but he doesn't want to be in the zone because he knows this is, blah, 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 and throw some actual strategy behind it because goddamn, it can be tough to accurately and succinctly describe what is happening, but we end up getting a lot of John Smoltz going, well, back in my day, they'd steal, and now they don't do that. And I've golfed today. And it's like, all right, John. All right. We get it. We used to break the broom handles off the yakety sax playing in the background. It's like, all right, John, we got it.
Can we have a rule that we add in where it's like we just have a guy playing yakety sax that just picks up every time there's, a guy caught in the middle of bases getting run down, start playing yakety sax?
I would be in support of that rule. I think that it's a crime that it isn't like that now.
I've wondered this as I've gone to games. How would you guys feel about passively played music in the background of sporting events in general?
I would love that.
Yeah, nothing like crazy loud, nothing that would like interfere with the people actually playing, but just, like home team sets a fucking playlist and then you just kind of groove.
Having been on New York subways where, the nice 16-year-old girl is doing that for me, letting me feel that experience, I don't think I'd be for it.
I feel like it's different atmosphere though. Like if I'm commuting on a subway, I definitely don't want to hear ambient music. But if I'm like at a ball game, I feel like I might.
Yeah, just a little low volume,
A few 2-ounce free beers.
I don't know. For me, it's like the ambiance of a baseball game. Like that's like 60% of why I enjoy going to live games. And I feel like, hearing Mo Bamba in the background, that's not baseball for me. I have a picture in my head of what baseball is, and it's not.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
Loop back to that. All right, Corwin, tell me your next rule.
Legalized drugs. Guys getting kicked out of the league for, smoking marijuana. That's fine. That's just not acceptable. Like it's a medicine. It should be treated as such. It's legal in so many states. We shouldn't be kicking guys out. But I don't want to stop there. Legalize them all. Players weekend, maybe, we want to, slow roll into this. Hey, players weekend, guys can do whatever the fuck they want. You know, Trevor Bauer's on LSD pitching to, I don't know, Aaron Judge on some shrooms. Meanwhile, some guys doing coke off of a bat in the outfield. I'd like
You're just
that'd
describing
be
the
fun
80s.
to watch.
Yeah, I would say it's been done.
This is just the 86 Mets.
I wasn't alive then, so I couldn't experience it. So like I think Roaring 20s, we tried that last year. It led to where we are now. Let's not do it. Let's just jump ahead to the 80s, get really fucked up now, and see how baseball goes.
All right. Well, the best part about the 80s is that they
I just
decided
want
it was
another
the
perfect
future
game on
while
LSD,
it was
guys.
happening. Well, maybe that. Maybe you have the All-Star game, you have the home run derby, and you have the Doc Ellis recreation game. Where
But everybody's on
volunteers try to
LSD.
do it. Oh, that's even better.
Wow,
Wait, I like that one better. Everyone's on LSD.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Wow.
Commentators, umps, everybody.
Oh man, just having like Don Orsillo and Mudcat just like doing their back and forth while absolutely fucked up. Let's bring Brockmeyer in here. I feel like he's already got that down pat. Like he would know exactly what to do.
Maybe John Smoltz is a good commentator, but we're just not using him right.
We
Listen,
need to dose
he's got
him.
the nose for it. I think he'd fit in well.
Again, baseball in like the late 80s, early 90s. I'm sure they got up to no good, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right. For my next one, oh, this is a fun one. Before they're at bat, batters have to call their shot of where the ball is going to go, left, right, or center. Otherwise, it doesn't count. So you have to go up to the ump beforehand and be like, it's going to go to left. It doesn't have to be left field. You know, it could be left side of the infield, any of that shit. But you got to go up and you got to be like, I'm going to hit it straight. And then if you go up there and you hit it to right, no good. That's an out. You suck. You got to call his shot.
Imagine bottom of the ninth, game 7 of the World Series, down by 3, bases loaded. You call center field and you hit it to right center. And Angel Hernandez had a great year. He's in the World Series this year. It's like, no, that was right field. Doesn't count. And then that's the World Series. It's over.
Well, so I think what you'd have to do is you'd have to have 2 more poles and 2 more sets of lines. Because, like, you know, the foul poles, foul lines, you got to have 2 more to help differentiate the field. Because otherwise, you're going to get guys like Angel Hernandez who's going to fuck it up.
If you called foul and hit it foul, does that count as a single?
No. You got to keep that. That's part of the game. In my mind, that's still
baseball.
That's
fair. That's very fair.
Still
Yep.
baseball.
No, that just makes sense, you know? What's going on here, guys? What are we doing?
It's still baseball.
It's still baseball. All right.
But so wait, real quick before we move on. When you have the foul pole set up now to differentiate, is there netting? Like, are we gonna have netting here so it's just like tunnels almost?
No. Because
we're gonna have the guys from Cirque du Soleil that climb the poles, and they're just gonna be up there snatching them.
We have to hire acrobats to be the new lineups. No, it'll be.
We're gonna get rid of all the money they're saving, not paying minor league players. That goes towards the acrobats.
What would be interesting though is like, because the fielders won't know where you called it, so they're still going to have to try on every play. So you hit it to left, but you called it right, and the left fielder makes a great jumping catch, and it's like you were already sitting back down in the dugout because you're like, it doesn't fucking matter.
But what if they miss? Do you then now you get another chance, or do you get on base then?
It could be
you
like
could play that off really well too. Here, I'll let you finish, then I'll go.
I was gonna say it could be like, you know, if you hit a defender, you get to still run the bases. You know, hey, if you don't touch it, it's an out. But if you touch it, that's a live ball.
You could really effectively play it off as like, oh, you hit it, and it's like, oh shit, I hit it in the wrong spot. Start walking off. Fielder sees it like, oh, it's an out anyway. I don't need to hustle for it. it drops, it goes out, whatever. You just, oh no shit, I lied. Ha, suck it, losers, and then just finish running your bases.
Perfect strategy.
Absolutely. Hidden ball trick. Kind of.
Yeah, naturally.
We
nailed it. Yeah, we cured it. All right. Round 5. This will probably be our last one, and then we'll go over our various combined rule systems and see who ruined baseball most effectively. Round 5. What's your first pick, or the only pick for this round?
The drop third strike rule. Now the batter has to run to third, and if there's runners on, they have to reverse, and that's how they score. And if the batter forgets and accidentally runs towards first, because that's how they're used to, they lose a run.
Yeah.
Heavy consequences.
I have no qualms with this. This is great.
I actually kind of love this because, the odds of you scoring from first are pretty slim as far as, again, baseball is a sport of failure, and the farthest you are from home, the hardest it is for you to score. That's just intuitive. And getting to a base on a dropped strike 3 is so rare anyway that making the stakes of it that much bigger is actually kind of amazing.
Gary Sanchez is shaking right now at the thought of this.
Hear me out.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Drop strike 3. You run to third. Catcher turns, throws it to third, trying to get you out. Pass ball. It goes out into the outfield. Do you have to turn around and run back home? Can you score yourself on a single? Or would that be a double?
No,
it'd be a stolen
inning,
base.
You have to run the opposite way.
So it's now, clockwise, whoever was on first is scoring that next run.
That's right.
Okay. Again, I have no issues with this. This is great.
Would that reverse direction hold for the rest of the inning?
No, just for that play.
Okay.
So then if the guy who was at bat with the drop third strike, if he only makes it to second, when the next batter gets up, that guy's now running back the normal way to score.
So you can get to third twice in 2 at-bats?
Yes.
Nice. If you have a reverse Uno card in your pocket, can you play it? Do you have to play it after he hits it or when he comes up? Like, hey, if this happens, reverse Uno card, putting it down. I got it.
The catcher has to pull it before he gets the ball.
Okay. What about if they hit it, the guy throws it, to second base, you're on third, you're running back to second. Ah, shit, I'm going to get out. It's already there. Then you pull the Uno card. Ha, I'm going back to third.
How could I not like that rule? If I like the third base drop third strike rule, I have to say, yeah, you're bringing the Uno cards.
Do we have someone somewhere writing all these down?
Yeah, I'm right here. Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Baseball is now a board game. Yeah.
And one of the terrible ones that is really convoluted. The rules take forever, but your friend is like, no, you're going to love it. I promise. It's really fun.
It's a combination of baseball, Uno, and Twister.
It's one of those board games you open up and it's got dice. It's got like the spinner. It's got like the thing you pop from Trouble. It's got like 36 different pieces from 36 different games. You just move as you go.
All right. I want to make sure we're moving
along.
Am I
up?
Yes, Corwin, you're up.
So this is our last round, so I got to make this one count. Should I keep it real? Should I get weird? Like, I don't know how to go. I don't know how to finish this out. All right, one of
that for you.
You're right. If a pitcher balks, he's ejected. That's it. You balk, you're done. No time for that nonsense in this pace of play game. You balk, get out of here.
Takes 15 minutes for someone to warm up when that just happens randomly. They're like, we're doing this for pace of play.
Or it's going to be even
they
dumber.
make the pitcher sprint from the bullpen.
You didn't declare that you're switching from the windup to the stretch. Sorry, sir. Get the fuck out of here.
You know the rules.
It's the fucking goofiest part.
Some guy coughs while he's on the mound, just ejected.
I just love the fact that you have to tell the ump I'm changing how I'm pitching today, right? Because it's like the windup and the stretch are two pretty different pitching positions. It's like, and also, why the fuck should the ump care? Like, because if the idea of the balk is, hey, don't be a dick and just make a clear attempt to throw the ball where your body appears to intend to wanting to be throwing the ball. Why do you have to be like, sir, I'm gonna throw it like that now. Before I was throwing it like this. Just want to let you know before I got started. Hope that's okay. It seems like it's a very old timey part of the game.
I didn't even know
See,
that
Josh,
existed.
you just acted it out right there. Leave the call. You're done. It's over.
Yeah, because what happens is because technically they're different motions, and if you like deviate from your standard motion, that's considered a balk. So you have to like tell one of the umps that you're switching between the two, which pitchers will do if like there's a runner on third and it's like, well, he's not going to steal home, so I'm just going to go back to the windup because I don't need to worry about him stealing with the stretch. And yeah, it's a very small rule that like never comes up, but every time it does comes up, it's like, hey, here's this fun baseball rule from like 1836. This rule survived the Civil War. All right. My last one is somewhat on the field. Every team is required to have at least 5 uniforms per season. All of them, even the traditional Red Sox and Yankees who don't usually have Yankees don't have any. Red Sox don't usually have a lot. They usually have just the blue ones. Every team has to have 5.
I like that.
Amendment to this rule. Each starting pitcher gets his own. They design their own. Whenever they pitch, boom, that's what uniform you wear that day. Imagine like Marcus Stroman's uniform day. That'd be great. Chris Sale, he just goes up and just tattered rags.
And pitchers would probably actually have the hardest time with it because they have all those like restrictions on what they can and can't wear based on like, the colors and not being deceptive and whatnot.
Josh, this is a rule for the fans, not the players. We don't care what they think.
You're right. All pitchers should be wearing like neon yellow.
Might as well just change the batter's eye to white too in the background.
So one of the rules I was thinking of was, what if we put like a target on the batter's eye, and if you hit the middle of it, like you win a prize. But then I was like, but then the batter's eye wouldn't be black, and that kind of defeats the fucking purpose, doesn't it?
Thought about having one where it's like, like the tiny little bullseyes they have in like certain stadiums somewhere. It's like if you hit it in there, it's like a basketball hoop size, something like that. It's just like you win the game. Golden snitch.
Every stadium has a bust of Rob Manfred with his mouth open, and if you hit the ball in, you get to be commissioner for a day.
Yeah. I've always wanted to drop my ball into Rob Manfred's mouth. Yeah.
We all have.
Only one, though.
Been there. Yeah. All right. Did you guys have any other rules that you were really excited about that we didn't get to hear? Anything you want to offer up before we do a final look back at our new versions of MLB?
No.
Yeah, I had some, like eliminate time manipulation, 6-year contract, 6-year team control starts when you sign it. No more of that. But, again, wanted to get weird with it. And there's no way that ever passed. So,
yeah,
I had like get rid of the playing game for the wild card. But then when you guys started getting really out there, I was like, I can't now come in with all these boring ones, these boring real ones.
Yeah, I had robo umps and pitch clocks, and I was like, we got to a point where it's like, I can't go back to this.
Yeah. I had one where like I want a physical robo ump behind the plate. Like I want like R2D2 calling balls and strikes back there. And like R2D2, he's got an attitude, Rendon says his, awful comments he always makes towards umps. He takes out the little taser he's got and just a little zap, little something.
Very sassy series of squeaks and beeps. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's try to get through this quick. I don't want to hold up too much of Emily's time. She's been very gracious with us already. So I'll now read out everybody's list of rules, and we will vote to see who did the best in this draft. So Emily's new baseball MLB has a universal DH, Each deck in the outfield counts for an additional run for a home run. If games are tied in the 11th inning or later, or in the 11th inning, we go to a home run derby. There is a ban on sack bunting, and dropped third strikes. Everyone runs in reverse order with the batter running to third and then everyone else running backwards to base if there's anybody else on base. Corwin's MLB. We have increased the minimum minor league salary for individual players. If Angel Hernandez finishes top 5 in accuracy, he gets to go to the World Series, but he has to strip with every wrong call. There are now tennis balls disguised as baseballs, randomly scattered throughout. Right, randomly scattered throughout the approved balls. We have legalized all drugs, and every time someone balks, they are ejected. And then in mine, we have a salary floor. If both managers agree, we can eject umpires for calling balls and strikes. Called strikes down the middle count for 2 strikes. Batters have to call the directions of their hits, otherwise they don't count. And each team must have at least 5 uniforms. So you can pick your own draft, but I guess let's go in the same order in which we drafted. So, M, which version of baseball would you take?
I feel compelled. I can't skip on Corwin because the legalize all drugs. I mean, that all LSD game, the broadcasters, the umpiring crew, the grounds crew, the guy who drives the bullpen cart, the concession workers on LSD is just, I need to see it.
And like Oprah, everybody look under your seat. You get LSD, you get LSD, you get LSD.
It's in the drinking water.
That means so much. Can you replace Josh? Because you support me way more than he does on this podcast. So
only if it comes to drugs.
Change. Oh, he does.
Yeah. You know, he does. I took 6 tabs of LSD right before I came on here. Hell yeah. Josh, I just want to point out, after you read all of yours out in order, like 4 of your 5 are just going to boost the egos of the umpires. Like, it's all power to the umpires.
Well, they can get ejected.
Right. But at the same time, it's like you give them so much control. Like, oh, that wasn't left, that was left center.
Well, no, we'd have the new poles. Don't forget, we'd have the 2 new poles, and you'd have the lines. So I
don't trust those umpires, man. I just don't trust them.
You're not wrong for that. So which one you taking?
I don't want to be mean, but mine's kind of, the best. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. It's the world I want to live in. People get paid and can do drugs. What more do you want?
All right, so that's 2 votes for Corwin. I'll probably pick M's. Yeah, because I like the idea of baseball switching directions every now and then. because it's so similar to how the game currently operates, but it's a little different.
Well, I feel like that's why Corwin's drug game is so amazing, because I feel like all the wacky things we've all picked are just bound to happen in a game with everyone on LSD.
That's
People
true.
are going to run backwards. People are going to think that, it's a fair ball when it's foul. Like, it's just going to be mayhem.
I think we should kind of put out a trial run here. Like, giving Major League Baseball players a bunch of drugs, that won't work. We start at like the high school level. We could see how it works out, move it up to college. College, they already got their thing going. But
test it in the Atlantic
bunch of 16-year-old kids doing hard drugs. What more could we ask for in this country?
Even. You got to host a celebrity all-star game of like retired or current rock stars. Guys who've been there. They've done it. This isn't new. Yeah, running the bases while high is a little different, but they'll figure that part out. And just let him, didn't Machine Gun Kelly for the Cleveland celebrities softball game a few years ago? I think he said he was high on LSD the whole time anyway, and he hit like a home run. So fuck it, let that guy be commissioner and just go wild.
Machine Gun Kelly.
I literally don't know who Machine Gun Kelly is outside of that
Snoop Dogg
home
deep.
run.
That's fantastic.
Neither do I. I watched that game and I was like, Machine Gun Kelly, who the hell is this? But I also say that for like half the roster of that game.
Oh yeah. And then I look up Machine Gun Kelly and it's like, oh, he's a mobster from the 30s. And I'm like, I'm not sure this is the same guy. These feel
Looks
like
great
people.
for his age. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know his hair's white, but I think that's manufactured. Oh, all right. Hey, this was a ton of fun.
Yeah, this was awesome. You guys are hilarious.
Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us for this very offbeat topic. I'm glad we got to do something a little bit different. Where can people find you? Where can people find your show? Where can the people get you?
The people can find me Twitter at emshedoesit, EMSHEDOESIT, and you can find Breaking Balls at Break Balls Pod. We release a new episode every Saturday on anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you guys like this show, you're gonna like my show.
Right.
Basically, if you listen to this one, you're gonna like mine. So listen to it.
But I will say, Breaking Balls has significantly better production value. So if you because we don't spend much time doing it. So if you like this show, you'll probably like Breaking Balls more. So definitely go check it out if you're listening to this. And this was great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Guys, anytime. This is awesome.
Thank you. I can't let you leave without admitting that every single time Josh has said Breaking Balls on this podcast, I have chuckled to myself, quietly or otherwise.
I'm glad that was what I was going for. When I thought of it, yes. I literally was like, oh, Breaking Balls, the double entendre. So I'm glad that now it's becoming almost synonymous.
Yeah, it's right there. All right, that was our draft. Thank you again to Emily for joining us today on the show. I guess shout outs to Corwin for winning the draft, so to speak.
Goddamn right, dude.
Fucking bitch.
How do you win over the hearts and minds of people? Money, drugs. Fair. 2 major food groups.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, put LSD in all the beer. Let's see what happens.
I just thought of a good one to really get fans. Give out like free fucking hot dogs, man. Free hot dogs, free beer. You get those stands packed. That's cheaper than paying minor leaguers. Damn.
Yeah, hot dogs cost like, what, 50 cents a dog?
I can't imagine anything more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, free lunch. And the part of baseball that people don't know is you can still bring your own fucking food in. Like, people complain about stadium prices. You can just bring in I bring my own food every time I go to Yankee Stadium.
You broke that news to me, like when we went to Yankee Stadium together for the first time, and you just opened up a backpack full of like sandwiches and drinks.
McDonald's,
I was
baby.
like,
McDonald's
what
right
the
across the street.
fuck? Are you serious?
I got into an argument at work once because I was talking to one of my like older coworkers who was like, "You can't bring food into Yankee Stadium," and I'm like, "Sir, I brought food into every single ballpark I've ever been to in my entire life. Like, you absolutely." Matt and I went to Arthur Bryant's in Kansas City before a Royals game and like loaded up on barbecue and then walked into that stadium with a backpack full of barbecue sauce and meat and chowed down for like 3 hours.
You know those like stereotypical like BuzzFeed clickbait headlines like, "Oh, one small trick the MLB doesn't want you to know." Like, no, like this is real. This is real, and they're downplaying it.
Yeah, and water too. I was bringing my own bottled water. No one will stop you.
$8 for water.
And they say that you need like the sealed plastic bottles, but I went with some friends who didn't realize that's what I meant and brought like regular like reusable, reusable water bottles, and like no one gave a shit about that either. Like the rules for what you can and can't bring in at stadiums are very, very lax. You should bring in whatever you want.
You have to always remember that no matter how strict rules and guidelines are, if there is a minimum wage teenager enforcing it, it really doesn't matter.
Especially in the Bronx, man. Like those people, like the people who work at Yankee Stadium, they don't give a fuck. Because you know what? The people at Yankee Stadium know doesn't fucking matter. You bringing a sandwich into the stadium, whether you are allowed to or not, is not worth them getting into an argument with you about a sandwich.
Say what you will about the bleacher creatures, they don't have time for bullshit. They will not accept it.
All right, we have once again continued on for longer in the intro and outro than I think we ever have. So I am once again sorry for you now having to listen to us talk about food. But shout outs again to Emily Nyman again. She said it, but you can find her on Twitter at MSheDoesIt. You can check out the podcast Breaking Ball Podcast, where all podcasts are found, which is another one of those things where it's like kind of no shit. Everyone says it because like it feels like you have to say it because I guess there was a point in time where like that wasn't true. Like where your podcast could only like we're only on Apple Podcasts before everything like got aggregated. But now everything aggregates, so it's like everyone still says it, but it's like, does it mean anything? Like the only place it might not be is Spotify because they're weird. But anyway, shout outs to M. It was a lot of fun. Really liked having her on. Can't wait to get a lot of these baseball people back during the season to talk about some actual ball. But we will get there soon as spring training is still in full swing, and we're moving and shaking, getting towards the beginning or the opening day of the actual season. If you want to follow our show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And until Monday, y'all have a good one.
Or don't. Or don't.